Good morning, lacrosse boys. Okay, now we've come to the video for stretching. It's going to just be 10 minutes, and what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and take off your shoes. And if you have a mat at your house or a towel, or if you need a mat, you can also just do this on the carpet. We're just going to go through a series of stretches, and we are going to be using either a band, a belt, something that you have. Most of you, hopefully, didn't lose your TheraBands that I bought and cut for you. But if you did, that's okay. You can use just a belt from a robe, or you could use a belt from your closet. Even a towel, if you've got like a long dish towel, go ask your mom or dad, and you can use that as well. So we've got the feet right underneath our hips, and I just want you to start by spreading the feet on the floor, and I just want you to think about touching the floor with your big toe and your pinky toe and your heel all at the same time. Now, just kind of walk back and forth there to the edges of your feet to the inside of your feet. Edges, inside, edges, inside. Good. Now plant those feet, give me a big deep breath in up, and I want you to hold right there and just reach those arms up. And create length in your spine. Just think about being taller and taller and taller. And now we're going to take those arms, you're going to flat back and come down to your toes. Now, I realize that most of you may not look like this. Most of you might look like this. That's okay. I want you to soften those knees and try as much as you can to forward fold without resistance. And now we're just going to come up slowly. Now, as you come up slowly, I want you to focus on that belly button being into the spine. We're going to roll those shoulders back, and we're going to open the chest. I want you to take those hands back, grab them, and then pull down and just look up. And release. Take that right arm across, holding on to the forearm. I just want you to gently pull that arm across. Now, pick the shoulder up to the ear and set it down. And do that again. Up and down. And now the other side. We're just opening up that shoulder and the lat. Take it up and down. Good. Up and down. Nice. Big deep breath in up. Holding at the top. Stretch, 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 stretch. And now flatten down. Knees are soft. And you're going to roll it up one vertebrae at a time. Nice and heavy. All right, we're going to take that right foot and we're just going to step in front of our left foot. So you've staggered your stance, okay? And it's going to keep our hips facing forward. And you're just going to put your hands on your hips and knees are soft, and you're just going to forward fold until your back is flat. And you should feel really deep stretch in that hamstring on the back of the right leg. And come on up. Good. We're going to do that again. And come on down. Again, the knees are soft. Weight is in the heels. And come on up. Other side. Stagger that stance. Shoulders up, back, and down. The knees are soft. You're going to hinge forward. You should feel a deep stretch on the back of that left leg. And come on up. And one more time. And come on up. Place the feet under. Deep breath in up. Reach for the top, stretch up, and now flat back down. Now your hands come to the ground. You're going to take your left foot and step it back. So now you're in this high lunge position. Okay, and what you're doing is you're just going to drop the pelvis so you can feel a stretch on the hip flexors of that left leg. So I just want you to drop that pelvis and just hold right there. Come up a little bit and then drop right back into it. And set down that back knee, and now you're just going to walk your hands back, and as you do, allow your right toe to come up and that knee is soft. Good. Now we're going to take that extended right knee and we're going to fold it underneath us, and you're going to slide that left leg back and come down to the ground if you can to elbows. If you can't get there, go ahead and stay right there, okay? This is pigeon. Now a proper pigeon, the leg would be out and perpendicular, but that's well beyond most of our stretching capacity, mine included. So come down to your elbows and just relax right there. You should feel that stretch through the IT band on that left leg into the glute and also the hip flexor. And just hold that. Just hold that. Can you rock to the glute? Can you put your weight on the glute? Good, and now come off of that, okay? We're gonna bring that other knee around. We're gonna tuck our toes, push our weight back, and now gently rock back and forth. And your goal is to try to get your heels to the ground. Now, some of us will never be able to do that. That's kind of like a hereditary thing, that's genetic, but you're just trying. We wanna stretch those Achilles as much as we can. And we're gonna set the heels down, straighten the legs, and roll it up, one vertebrae at a time. You've probably moved away from the front of your mat, so step forward. Feet are under the hips, deep breath in up. Reach, stretch, 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 stretch. Elongate that spine, and now we're gonna flatten back down. Once again, hands are to the ground. Now we're gonna step the right leg back, okay? So we're once again in this high lunge position, and you should be feeling a stretch on that hip flexor. I want you to also spread out the toes on that left foot. So make sure that you're not just going onto your big toe or to your pinky toe. Spread the toes, come up out of it, and then re-sink down into that stretch. Now gently set down that back knee and walk your hands behind you or closer to your hips. The knee is soft, the toe comes up. Nice stretch right there. All right, now we're gonna take that leg underneath us, slide the right leg back. I got too close to my wall. And if you can, come on down to your elbows. And just hold this pose. I would say that stretching is probably one of the most fundamental keys to the success of your athleticism. Stretching is not done enough. It's undervalued, it's underutilized, especially in sports where we're developing. Good, now rock to your glute. And bring that other knee in. Tuck the toes, and once again, rock back. You know, most of you are still growing. Most young men don't finish growing until they're in their 20s. So if you're doing high intense impact type of athleticism like lacrosse, football, hockey, you know, even basketball, you are growing and you're putting pressure on those growth plates. So stretching for you is also very fundamental. So go ahead and have a seat here. I want you to bring your feet into the center and we're gonna butterfly stretch. Sitting up nice and tall. Yep. You did this probably in kindergarten. Just flap those butterflies just a little bit. We just have to open those hip flexors. Those hip flexors are really important for speed, okay? If you have short hip flexors that do not have flexibility, you're not gonna be fast. And you're also gonna be injured. And if you've ever pulled a hip flexor, that's not fun. Okay, so now you're gonna need that band, okay? We're gonna take our feet out. Oh boy. Most of you at this point probably rounded your back and have to pop up your knees. That tells you how short your hamstrings are. You gotta work on that. You just have to work on that. We're gonna take that band, put it around our right foot, okay? And we're just gonna set that foot down. The knee is soft. And I'm just gonna pull that band and then just straighten out my knee. So now I'm stretching my calf and I'm gonna press forward with my toe and stretch it back. Press forward with my toe and stretch it back. And now I'm in a circle, holding just a little bit of tension. I can't tell you how important it is to have that band or that belt on the ball of your foot. You don't want this snapping off and hitting you in the face. Good, and switch directions. Ankle mobility, very important. You want that stretching there so that if you roll when you're running, that you can recover from that and not strain or pull that muscle. And release. All right, going to the other foot. So I happen to follow several podcasts on the sport of lacrosse. So now we've switched Straighten out that leg and we're just pulling. And I've reached out to a number of well-respected coaches throughout the country and discussed the importance of stretching and how they felt about it. And go ahead and come around. And all of them agreed that incorporating a program of stretching and or yoga would be nothing but beneficial, and in fact would extend the longevity of the athlete's ability to play at an advanced level and switch. That's why you've heard probably of football players who have participated in like ballet, right? Because that flexibility is so important. So that just rolled off the ball of my foot, that's okay. Again, ankle mobility. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and lay it down, and I'm gonna come to the side here and hope that you can still see me. That video yesterday, I know you couldn't see me when I was on the floor. I'm sorry about that. I've got a tissue box holding up my camera, so, you know, it's what it is. We're gonna take that band and put it around the right foot, and I want you to just kind of straighten that leg out as much as you can. Now, some of you will be right there. That's okay. Keep the knee soft, and if you're able, just gently bring that leg in until you feel a stretch on the hamstring. Now, you don't want to stretch it so much that there's a wobble. You just want to feel the stretch. You don't want to hurt, okay? So for a lot of you, that might be right here, and that's okay. Make it your goal to just slowly come as deep as you can without hurting yourself. Now, I'm going to put both of the bands into my left hand. I'm going to straighten out my bottom leg, and now I'm gently going to take that leg over, resting my elbow on the ground and stretching out my right arm on the ground. So now I'm feeling a very deep stretch through my glutes into my IT band and look across. And then I'm going to come up, I'm going to switch the bands to my right hand, and now I'm going to open up the other way. Oh boy. Set down the elbow, extend that arm. And now I'm going to bend my knee and just pull that foot in just a little bit. And release. Cross that foot over the opposite knee now and just reach in and hug those knees. Just hug them. Just open up those hips. Good. And release. Put that band now on top of the bridge of the other foot. Again, if your flexibility is here, that's okay. Just make sure that your knee is soft. I don't ever want you to lock out your knee because then your mobility will always be hindered. So, or your flexibility. So bend your knee and now gently take that leg into where you feel the stretch. Now, not a surprise, one of your legs will be more flexible than the other. So kind of take note of that. Ask yourself, like, which leg feels better doing this? For me, believe it or not, my left leg. Usually it's your dominant leg. Again, release it, and then come back into it. Now I'm going to put the bands in my right hand, straighten out that bottom leg, and take that foot over gently, 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 and now stretch up that arm. And I'm going to feel that stretch all through that chain of muscles. If you need to, bend the knee. You don't have to have that leg straight. And now bring it up, put it in the opposite hand, set the elbow down, and open up the leg. Extend that right arm. And now I'm going to bend that knee in, just open up that hip flexor even more. And release. Cross it over the opposite knee, reach through, and just pull it in. Good. All right, last stretch today. Pull those knees into your chest. And this is basically the same thing that we just did with the band, but we're going to keep the knees together. So I want you to let your knees fall to the right. Take that left arm out, look over to your left, and now take that right hand and just put it on top of that left knee. And just really open up that back. Good. Deep breath in. And exhale. Head to the center. Now, knees to the center. We're going to let those knees fall to the left. Extend the right arm out. Look over to the right. Take that left hand, put it on top of that right knee. Add a little bit of pressure to that stretch. Deep breath in. And exhale. Good. Head back to the center, knees back to the center. And now we're going to use the knees to roll ourselves to sitting and just hug over your knees. Round that back, and now straighten it out. Probably rounding for you is very easy, right? Backpacks, hunching, computer screens. Rounding probably feels more natural for you, but I want you to practice stretching that back nice and tall. We're going to push off onto our feet like we've done before. We're going to straighten those legs. Roll it up. Go ahead and step back onto your mat. Final stretch, deep breath in up. Holding at the top, stretch, 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 stretch. And release down, swan dive, flat back. Now right here, I just want you to shake your head no. Your knees are soft. Nod your head yes. And now roll one vertebrae up at a time. And that's it. I want you to try and include the stretching regimen into your life as much as you can.